Welcome to the Career Maverick podcast with Kevin Kokinda, presented by Resumetics. Are you getting no play with your resume? Do you struggle with a career direction? Career Maverick is here to help. And now here is your career guru, Kevin Kokinda.
Hello, I'm Kevin Kokinda, your host. Welcome to another segment of the Career Maverick podcast, brought to you by Resumetics, the new way to resume, as we salute nurses this week. And for all of those out there that don't know, that Nurses Week just started and will be running through May 12th. I want to take this opportunity to recognize my stepmom, who's been a 30-year RN, and my sister-in-law, who works in pharmacy, and even my sister, who's a dental hygienist, and I'm going to throw that in healthcare also. This segment is going to talk about 10 things, trends to look for moving forward in the field of healthcare. So I've worked with LPNs, I've worked with CNAs, I've worked with RNs, FNPs, and a lot of other specialized areas. And the one common theme here is there's always going to be a need for healthcare workers. But I think now more than ever, we're going to see this trend continue to go up. And for those out there that might be thinking about a change in their industry, healthcare, male or female, is always something to think about. And it's something that's going to, I think, really start to pay off more and more as we move into the future. So we're going to kick things off. Some of the 10 things that I found that I thought was pretty cool. Thank you to the American Association of Nurse Practitioners. And also, let's give a little shout out here to the American Medical Colleges. So there's a lot of people that give special, shout outs to on this. But we're going to start with the first one, the online education. They're going to make it very, very easy for these educational programs, and they're only going to increase in popularity. I think you're going to start to see this jump from probably 50% to almost they're saying 80% over the next 10 years. And with more and more individuals that have children that have to stay home, obviously online education has always been very popular, but I think it's going to be a lot more prevalent, more so than ever with nursing. And then the other thing is that the shortage of primary care physicians. This has been something that the industry has been struggling with for a while now, trying to get more quality physicians in the marketplace, and not just here in the States, but globally. So what this is going to mean is for individuals out there that already hold RN degrees or are looking at something more advanced, man, think about a family nurse practitioner. These individuals make some serious coin. I mean, we're talking like easily 6 figures. And the other cool thing with that is the latitude that this profession is going to be getting. Typically, you were still working, collaboratively with the physicians. But as we move forward, more of these specializations are going to be giving a lot more authority for things. I mean, probably is going to get around to where they can just, take a pad out of their, out of the bag and start writing scripts and performing surgeries. Who knows? But they're definitely going to start seeing over the years more responsibilities, so that they're not going to have to always deflect back to the physician for permission. That kind of rhymes. Physician, permission. And of course, with that too, salaries are going to increase. They're looking at salaries right now going up, 12% over the next 10 years. Now you might think, 12%, whoop-de-doo. But over 10 years time, how many other salaries do you know out there that have actually been going up? Usually I've been noticing that they've been either staying flat or going down. So, that's something else to consider as well. And of course, higher education. It's going to continue to be the norm. And you're also looking at a lot more focus on specialization. It used to be, I just want to go in there and help people. I just want to work in a hospital. You're going to also see a lot of these institutions now implementing specializations. So something to think about as you're going for this certification or degree, how you want to implement it, which is very important and probably one of the more lucrative RN roles out there is the anesthesiology. So if you're thinking about getting into something like that, no, they make some fat bank too. So, but something as I've been reading, and I've been always incorporating this when I work with a lot of healthcare workers, is the telehealth and electronic health records, which have been around for a while, but a lot of us haven't really thought about telehealth. I've been working with nurses and working with telehealth nurses for several years now, but it only seems like recently with everything that's been going on with COVID that word telehealth is starting to, resonate with the general public. And, technology basically has revolutionized just about every industry, and, nursing's no exception. What you're going to see is a huge spike in telehealth and chat box services. So for those out there that are exploring this field, always look into what technology is going to do for it and how you can capitalize on it. I think the telehealth spectrum is going to be something that's kind of basically any nurse practitioner or RN, CN, LPN, or whatever over time will be utilizing this kind of technology and will be a part of, being on the other end of these calls. The one name I like here is Florence. Isn't that a nice name for a chat box nurse? Florence. Well, and I'm not hopefully saying that somebody like a Florence is going to start taking the jobs away from the, healthcare workers, that have a pulse. But again, as I'm working on these, I'm always asking my clients, what kind of technology background do you have? It's going to be very important, which kind of goes into the next thing, bilingual. Anyone out there that is, well, first of all, I envy anyone who's bilingual. Primarily if you speak Spanish. I've had a little bit of it. Definitely can't converse in it like I used to way back in the day. But, 13% of the population right now, they speak Spanish. And they speak Spanish in the home. I mean, we're talking about, 40 million U.S. residents. And that's only going to continue to grow. So, any kind of linguistic diversity, can be a huge, huge benefit, especially for nurses. I mean, if you're speaking that second language, that is going to definitely position you higher, as we move forward. And, the other thing is looking at the advancements in moving from one area of nursing, to another. I kind of kicked off with this. I'm circling back around and ending with it. But, again, very important out there to, take stock that if you work in healthcare and you've been on those front lines, there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there for you to grow. And there are a lot of healthcare centers that are struggling right now. Obviously, the elective surgeries and the procedures and things like that are a killer right now, and it's really putting a damper on the business side of healthcare centers, medical centers, and what have you, clinics and so forth. But as I've been saying, ever since the pandemic started, this will pass, and with every obstacle is going to come more opportunities from the ashes. So for right now, I'm not saying these things, for individuals to go out, next week and start, signing up for this stuff. But, as I always tell my clients, look into the future, see what's out there. Maybe not in the next month or 2, 6 months, but even next year, explore what these opportunities are, and also look into all the great financial aid packages that will be available to encourage individuals to get into the healthcare industry, because I think that the fallout from this is going to be more help with folks who have recovered from this that may come up with reoccurring symptoms. over the next several months or even in the next several years. I mean, who knows? We don't know where this is going. So, I'm going to say my favorite word: be cognizant of what is out there. And that's basically it for this week's segment. A couple of side notes here. You can check out the new website. Made it simple, or hopefully it's simple, resumeandcareerhelp.com. Right? That is simple. Resumeandcareerhelp.com. You can still send your resume over to the website for a free assessment. And for you nurses out there, now until the next 2 weeks, I will be doing free cover letters for any nurse. So just simply send your information to resumeandcareerhelp.com and I'll have something back to you within 48 hours. So again, I want to say a special shout out to the nurses and, of course, to all of our frontline responders. My name is Kevin Kokinda, your host. Thank you again. And as always, stay safe and keep peaking Mavericks.
You've been listening to Career Maverick with Kevin Kokinda, presented by ResumeDx, the Career Maverick podcast, an insightful look at the new trends for job seekers in Southern Colorado. New episodes post Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on krdo.com under the radio tab. Subscribe at thecareermaverick.podbean.com.